Good morning to all my fellow colleagues. Thank you very much for joining us in this short sharing session. For your information, this session is meant to introduce to us the concept or some techniques or methods that our colleagues are using. But it is because of the short time that we have, they will mainly introduce to us the concept first. If we would like to know more, maybe we can find way to either approach them to know the details, or we can find other ways to get the detailed information and try it out ourselves. So I would like to introduce our first speaker for today. Thank you very much, Prof. Ezat, for agreeing to this. So Prof. Ezat will share with us the tools at our disposal for emergency online teaching. All right, so without further delay, I would like to pass this session to Prof. Ezat.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tan. You can hear me, yeah, everybody? Hello? All right, huh? Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. So I have 20 minutes, so I have very few slides. Hopefully I won't take up the 20 minutes. Well, the title given was Tools at Our Disposal for Emergency Online Teaching. All right, so what I experienced is that in the old days when I started teaching in 1991, my problem was basically this one, which is I have a face without a name. That means we have many students, but I couldn't remember their names. So we know how they talk, I know how they behave, how fluent is their language and all that, but I just couldn't remember their name because just too many of them. So what I did in the old days is that normally I will make the student like a criminal in the beginning of the semester. So I have a digital camera and I will force them to hold their names and I will take a photo of them with them holding their names. So that's how I remember them in those days. So there was a challenge at that time, but luckily at the time we have digital camera, so that's what I do. But today, online teaching, we are having the problem of having names without a face. We have so many names, but we do not know how they look like. And when we are online, most of the students will refuse to turn on their camera, so we couldn't remember their name. Like we cannot know how they look like, and we also do not know how they speak, what kind of slang they have, and things like that. So the new difficulty just happened last year due to the COVID pandemic. So this is the challenge that we have. Okay, so the talk basically is not so much technical, is mostly talking about how to tackle with student with a name without a face. Okay, so what system provided by UTM? Basically, we have the AIMS web. So the AIMS web, when we started the semester, the main thing that we get from the AIMS web was just to get the list of names. So after that, AIMS web will have not much benefit for us, and we will go through the UTM e-learning system to upload our materials, assessment, and with the student. This is especially on the online teaching. So if for normal face-to-face teaching, normally we don't even go to e-learning. So we deal with the student themselves. And then at the end of the semester, we will come back to the AIMS again, basically to key in the marks. That is a process that we have with whatever system that UTM provided. So it's a good system in a way that help us run through. So with online, we can actually do quizzes, assessment, and things like that. And inside the e-learning, there is also this big blue button, which we can do online classes and all that. But I believe not many of us using those, the big blue button for teaching and all that. Well, how do I get to the next page? Okay. So one of the problems that we face with the AIMS web and also UTM learning is that what we find is that most of the time, the name list coming from the AIMS web is not updated to e-learning. So they will update at the beginning stage of the semester. So as time goes by, when you do quizzes and tests, and especially the final exam, you will find that when you come for online teaching and submission, you will see that student actually not submitting. So you'll be wondering why they are not submitting. So when you do some kind of Sherlock Holmes kind of investigation, then you will find that actually the list was not updated. Yeah? So this what happened to me and my partner for teaching in the last final exam. So we found that 3 students didn't submit, but then when we check and thoroughly checking here and there, so we were guessing like why this student not submitting. So when we look at the name, oh, their name sound familiar, or this is the one having problem during the class, and they didn't submit, maybe they give up halfway through their test or things like that. And when we check and check and check, and so it take quite some time to go through it, and we found out that actually the list was not updated. So whatever available in Ames Web is the latest, but unfortunately not the one in UTM e-learning. Yeah? So the updating was not there. So basically you need to do some kind of detective work. Yeah? So you thought there are actually some missing scripts and things like that, but actually everybody was there at the attendance was full, and but the student didn't submit because of the name list which is not matching. Okay, so those are the problems that we face with whatever system that UTM is giving us. They have a system, but the updating is a problem there. Okay, so then it comes to the online system that what we use. So this is actually my conclusion. You might not want to agree with that, because I think everybody, when they use this kind of system, they will have their own conclusion. Yeah? Well, for me, I have tried these 3 systems: WebEx, Zoom, and Google Meet. Yeah? So these are the good tools that we have. WebEx is very popular because it's provided by UTM, and most of us use it because it's free and it's unlimited user. Yeah? But the problem with WebEx is that the audio quality is very low. Yeah? I think if any one of us, because we are being lecturer, so normally we are the one who doing the talking, yeah, and the student will be the one at the receiving end, and student normally, when they can't hear us, they will just keep quiet, they will not say anything. But if we ourselves were participating in a meeting and all that, so I think recently I was in a few meeting by the faculty and the university, yeah, and the quality of sound was very bad. We cannot follow what the discussion is all about. And for people like us, when we are in the meeting, normally we make noise. We will put in the chat section that we can't hear you, we can't follow the discussion and things like that. But for students, they will not be bothered. Yeah? So they will just, what do you call it, keep quiet, and they think they can catch up later and things like that. So I think one of the things that the lecturer should know is that the sound quality from WebEx is very low. Yeah? And I think also one of the fact that most people didn't know is that WebEx is actually a very heavy system. So it will not work on low spec computer very well. Yeah? What I mean by that is that because most of us lecturers, we are using high spec laptop like i7 and things like that. So we might not face much problem. I have tried to conduct class using my old laptop, not very old, it's an i5, and many features cannot work on that kind of laptop. So what I mean by that is that most students, they are not using those high spec computer, so they could face a lot of problems. So I think lecturer have to understand on the side. So these WebEx also need high speed internet. Otherwise, you will see the video not flowing well and things like that. And they use up a lot of data, and there is no direct web access. So I think if lecturer have the chance to use a low spec computer to what do you call this, for video conferencing like this, they will see the point there what I'm saying. So compared to WebEx, Zoom is the quality is much better. Yeah? but you have limited time because UTM doesn't have a license for this WebEx. So we have a limited 40 minutes. And basically, like WebEx, the student will also have to install system to go through to having the WebEx thing. Okay, you see that I'm very biased. So when it comes to Google Meet, it's all positive. So Google Meet is free because it comes with the Google Workspace, which is the new name for G Suite. So our email are all under this system. So and the meeting have no time limit. The quality of video and audio is very good. Normally very smooth. That's my experience. And basically you don't need to install anything, and you can actually directly use it based on the web. The only setback that I can see is that the student will actually need to have a Gmail account. And one of the things is that which always disturb a lecturer is that those latecomer. So once you started the class, those latecomer will be giving you messages. I cannot enter. So your WhatsApp will start having messages coming in, and then halfway through you are talking, there will be pop-up messages that these people is waiting to be admitted and all that. So those are the shortcomings. So compared with the three, I actually personally prefer Google Meet. But of course, I know most of us are going for WebEx, which is I mean, it's okay. So most of the classes was done through that way up till now. Okay. So since I use a lot of Google, how do I go to the next page? Okay. Okay. So I use a lot of extension, extension to help me to go through the Google Meet. So one of those which I use, which is very effective, is the Google Meet Auto Admit, the one which I say it was a problem just now. So Google Meet Auto Admit, basically the student will come in directly. So with this extension, what you have is that you will not know the latecomer. You will not notice them during the class. So they will just come in and they leave without you knowing. Um, well, is depending on how you want to conduct your class. If you want them to to actually get permission from you to enter, there is a way for you to observe those latecomer who are the one who usually do that and things like that. But if you do not want the disturbance of halfway talking and then going back to the system to admit one by one, so you can install this extension. Yeah. Another one which I use a lot is the Google Meet breakout room. So this breakout room, I would say that is useful for discussion, but then knowing a Malaysian culture, normally students in the breakout room, they are very quiet unless you go and visit them one by one in the room and get them to start talking. Otherwise, they will be like, I'm still thinking about the question. I'm still reading all kind of excuses will be there. So the breakout room is good, but then sometimes it can be too silent, too quiet inside there. And then we also have to know that most of the students having internet problem, especially those from rural area and those further apart. So when they join the breakout room, if they get cut off due to the internet problem, normally they will come back without you notice, and then they will go to the main room and you have to ask them to go back to the breakout room and things like that. So they are very disturbing. So breakout room, is it a good idea? Well, in Malaysia scenario, I would say that it's not easy because we have students drop out from a session very often because of the internet speed and all that. So you will tend to face those problems. And then attendance is very useful. I will show you what kind of attendance we can see from Google Meet. The Meet Grid View, basically you get to, if you ask them to turn on their video, so you can see them just like how, what we call this WebEx system work. Yeah. Another system which I use a lot is Kami. Kami basically is to help you for what I call this for marking. Yeah. So they will allow you to mark the PDF just like you are using a PDF. So this will be in the Google Classroom, and screen classified basically is to help you to make short video to class your screen to the student. So these are the useful, what do you call it, extension that I use a lot in my class. Okay, so this is the kind of Google attendance that you will get. So you don't need to send them a Google file to ask them to sign in and all that. So you can see that the green one is the one that when they get in and when they stop going out, or where they get cut off and then they come back again. So you can see this pattern very clearly for everybody. But this one is actually attendance for group presentation. So you can see only the group who are presenting appear first, and then they go out, they might not come back again. But if in the same class, if you are talking about classes, then you will see those students having internet problem very clearly. Yeah, so you will see what time they come in, and then what time they get cut off, and then how many times they'll try to log back in again, how long they can stay, and then when they get cut off again. So this kind of pattern, with that Google extension, basically it will help you for this monitoring. Yeah? So you will know. So like in this case, you'll see Ina, she came in very late, only at the end of the session. Why is it so? And then so you can contact the student to find out what happened to them and things like that. So this is the kind of attendance that you will get from Google Meet. And for WebEx, this is how the attendance look like. I'm sure most of us know because we use WebEx. So you will see how many times these people join and all that. So, but then I think the one given by Google Meet was much better. You can see the pattern better. So you can know who joining in and all that. Okay, another one, if we are using WebEx, so one of the things that I think most of us didn't notice is about sharing. So when you share your screen, so actually there are two options. One is the option to optimize for text and images. And if we are showing video and having audio, we should choose the second one. But most of us, because we want to be fast and all that, so we just share without noticing this option. Okay, so another thing which is very good to have for online teaching is you are using dual monitor, two screen. So when you have two screen, you can share one screen and put all the others to another screen which you do not want to share. So some lecturers, they will share only the tab. So when you share the tab, sometimes when you go to other places and you thought you were sharing and showing some other thing, but then you actually not sharing. So the student will be wondering what you are talking about. So the best thing to do is have two screen. So put all those things that you do not want to share on one screen, and then using this one screen to share with them. And then whenever you need material from here, just pull and drag it over on the other side. So that is the best thing that I think I use it a lot. So in my room, I have two monitor. I get one old monitor from a computer room which is not being used. So I'm using these two screen, and it makes things very, very easy. So whenever I'm at home, so I have one extra TV, old TV, which have a VGA port. So I'm using that TV for those purposes. So when you have that two screen, so basically you can just share one and keep all the others like your notes or whatever. You can put it on the other side, the other one, screen number two, which you don't share. And then whenever you need it, you just pull it over and you can share with the student. So that will make the flow very easy. Okay, so this is about Google Classroom. So why am I not using UTM e-learning and using Google Classroom? Because sometimes it's very difficult to access UTM e-learning from home. When you are working, and today I'm working from home. So like today, I cannot get access at all to, I think since yesterday, I couldn't get access at all. So when you have Google Classroom, basically it's a replacement for they call this for your UTM e-learning. But the only problem is that Google Classroom, you need to get the student to register. You need to get the student to register for that. Stop sharing. Give me a minute. I might already overshoot the time.
It's okay, Prof. There's still sometimes it's just that the Q&A maybe have to be a little bit shorter.
Okay, very sorry about this because
It's okay, Prof. I learned many things from you.
I had to go very fast.
I didn't know about the kami and all those.
Okay. So you can see my Google Classroom now. For my class, so it is the same as UTM e-learning. So you create your class, your week as such. So you can have the material put in just like what you do in all that. So you have your quizzes, you have your video, your pop quiz, whatever you can put it in. So you can give them short video, the link and all that. So when it comes to assessment, so you see your Google Classroom, the lecturer and the student, but the student have to have a Gmail account. So the UTM email for them basically is the one they can use to register for this course. So you can have all the students inside. But when you do this, you will know that most UTM students don't use the UTM Gmail account. They actually never, they don't even remember the password. So there's a time that they scramble to look for the material, their password and things like that. So with this, so you can skip UTM e-learning, which I say sometimes is difficult to assess. And then you can see the assessment. For the assessment, you can see who turned in and who didn't turn in. So the assessment is such. And then you can see the attachment, that they turn in, what did they turn in. Okay, so basically the first one is this is the question, and then you can see this sign here. Kami is the extension which you use for marking. So I want to show you is that basically, so the marking like this, basically you are using the Kami extension. So it will help you to get through all that. And question one, also you can do all the marking here. So basically all these things will actually go to your Google G Drive, your Google Drive. And but I think it's better to mark in Google Classroom rather than to mark in the G Drive, because here the what I call this the thing is put in what I call this is in such a folder, in the folder by itself. So if the student forgot to put their names and all that, so it won't be an issue. It won't be an issue because you know which folder they are in. So they are the one. Those turn in late, they will give you a warning who turn in late and all that. So, and those missing, they will also show you. So I have 8 missing assigned by then. This is actually myself. I didn't turn in because I'm using another account to observe and things like that. And those who missing sometimes because they use double names and things like that. So I always warn students, don't log in using crazy names like Doraemon and things like that. So this is a replacement for UTM, what do you call it? UTM e-learning. And then one of the features which I use a lot, which is not available in the laptop version, is the how do I go there? Having problem to move around. Okay, let me go back. Yeah. So one of the features which I use a lot, which is not available in the laptop version, is the what they call this. Okay, so this is the Google Classroom that I was talking about, how you mark with the Kami extension. So you can do the marking and all that. And one of the features which I use a lot, which is not available in the laptop version, is the student selector. Yeah? So this student selector is only available on apps, which is on your handphone and your tab, your iPad or whatever. So normally, to make sure that the class going on with the students still around, so I'm using this student selector a lot. So this student selector will actually select the student for me, so I can call later. Sorry, I can click to call later. If I will check whether they're absent, so I can go next and all that. So because I want to catch their attention, so I will go one by one, and then when I call the student using this one, so you will pick randomly the list of name from here, and from here I will know who is absent, who actually not following and all that. So whenever I call their name, so normally I will ask them to turn on their video. Yeah? Otherwise, they have a lot of reason not to turn on their video. So the first time I asked them to turn on the video, a lot of them having all kind of excuses, especially the girls. They say, I belum pakai tudung lagi lah, macam-macam, all kind of reason. So what I do is that, so they know that the second class and all that, I will keep on calling them. So and I will go randomly using this one to call them one by one and to get them to participate in the class. Okay, so the other thing which I use a lot is the Microsoft whiteboard. So the Microsoft whiteboard is very useful because you can import picture in it, and then you can scribble on it, and you can do solution with the student. And maybe I show you. Yeah, this is the whiteboard that I'm using a lot. So so if I want to draw and all that, I'm using the whiteboard a lot. So what we have in the whiteboard, actually you can use Google Jamboard and all that, which is not an issue at all. So this whiteboard, you can increase the size and all that. So one of the things which I use a lot is the ruler. Yeah? The ruler is very nice because you can turn it around 90 degree, and then if you want to read from the what do you call it, from the table, you can just pull, and then you can choose a line. You can what do you call this, increase the size. You can increase the size of the line, and then you can change the color, and then you can draw based on the ruler. So I use this a lot for reading chart and all that. So you can turn the thing around and pull it around. And this is very useful, especially you are talking about how to read a chart and all that. So then you can start drawing other line with other colors and all that. So this is really very, very helpful. And whenever you finish, you want to use for the next question, basically you just delete and the chart will remain there. So these are very useful, just like you are in the classroom. So I put the equation and the chart around, so I would just scribble around and doing solution with them. So this is time that you use the student selector a lot. What is the next step and all that? So you can catch the student attention using this. So this is a very useful tool. I'm not saying that like the Google Jamboard or the whiteboard which provided by Webex is not good, but this is a much better one. Okay, and the last one, maybe I go to the last one. The last slide is whether we want to do it synchronous or asynchronous. I think these are some of the hardware which will cost money, which the university is not providing. A webcam is very useful and a mic is very useful, especially for a lecturer like me who are having my voice deep inside my throat. So it's not easy for a student to hear me. So a mic like this will be very, very useful. I happen to have a relative who is a YouTuber, so I managed to borrow from him. What do you call it? This kind of mic, and I tested it in the class, and it worked so well. But this kind of equipment is not cheap. I think lowest model will be something like 300-400 ringgit. And a webcam will be very helpful if you are doing asynchronous, especially if you are making videos and all that. This kind, even a simple webcam will also cost you about 400 plus. This kind of thing you have to invest on your own because what they call this university basically not providing. They give you the laptop and they will assume that everything is okay. As I said, if we were to be the one in the meeting room, can't hear our chairman and other people discussing, we find it very disturbing. But imagine how the student will feel when they see us moving around, talking and all that, but then they can't hear us very well. So this kind of equipment is good to invest on. I have not buy any of this. I'm just borrowing and use it. I'm thinking of buying because they told we were just told that this semester is going to be online again. So we will have to think about this. And then if you are doing classes asynchronous, making videos and all that, don't do like what I do today. Don't show your furniture. So if you show your furniture, basically it will look like not a real class. So have some kind of use some kind of virtual background or whatever to cover it. And we also have to make sure that the student focus. So we have these are just what I think, advice to make sure that we can focus very well. So we should find a place which we are away from all the noises like from washing machine, doorbell and all that. Doorbell especially very disturbing when your Lazada or your Shopee delivery and all that. So you should think about all these things before the class start. Okay, and then the last one is about sustainability. How to sustain yourself and the student. So if possible, sit in a place that you can actually move around to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back, and things like that. So think about all that, including for the student, if they need a short break. Normally we have 2 hours kind of classes. So think about 5 minutes break and things like that. And especially when we talk too much, we might need water and all that. Make sure that is nearby and what do you call this? So you don't have to talking while your throat is dry. And I use a lot on this student selector to make sure that I sustain myself and the student is with me. So the student selector from the Google Classroom is basically, to me, is very, very helpful. So I think that's all from me for this session. So I'll join you back later when we go for the Q&A session. So thank you very much, Dr. Tan.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Or maybe, Prof, we can straight away take maybe one question so that you can continue and close your topic if there is any inquiries. So to all members, do you have any question that you would like to ask Prof. Isaac?
Hi, Prof. Nisa here.
Yeah.
Okay, Prof.
Yes.
I already download the Kami for the Google Classroom because I never I have the Google Classroom, but I never know that there's Kami, so I downloading everything and then marking it offline. So actually, when I download it, it have like 90 days, like that 90 days trial. So after trial, we can use it.
Yeah, you can still use it on the academic, so you won't get the full version. Like myself, I'm using it. Maybe I share back my screen. So you can still use it. It's not a problem.
Oh, okay, still can use it even though already 90 days.
Yeah, but you have a little bit of less features. So I've been
Okay.
using it for some time. So this is my extension. So you can still use it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Another thing, Sensei, Prof, okay, Prof, I would like to ask is, if you use this Google Classroom, there is a link actually for the student to enter the class, right? I think at
That
the
one is
stream
Google Meet.
parts. Yes, Google Meet. So
Yeah.
is it working? Because when I done it, it doesn't working for the students.
To enter automatically.
Yes, yes, yes.
I showed just now the extension. So
Okay.
basically, you install the extension, So after the extension, basically they can enter directly.
Oh, no, Prof. It's like yeah, is have in the stream they have like a meet link over there.
You mean
So when
the link, the student cannot get in?
no, when I get there, but the student is not there because they entered the different link like that. So totally different link.
Maybe you give them the wrong address.
But the link is the working. Is it working for the link?
Most of the time, I have no problem with that.
Oh, okay. Another thing, Prof, is when you record your class in the Google Meet,
Yeah.
and then how you can, do you know how to directly like it's automated upload in your Google Classroom, or you download it first and then upload in the Google Classroom?
You put in your Google Drive, and
Yes.
then so you can link it to the Google Classroom.
Oh, okay. So means like I record everything there, and then I just link it to the classroom parts.
Yeah.
So I put there like I create maybe create some materials. So I put there Google Meet recording like that. So the
Yes,
student
yes,
can enter.
yes.
Okay. Okay, understood, Prof. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
Prof, there is one question from Iwamoto Sensei. He asked, how do you write letters or figures on Google Whiteboard? By pen tablet? Is there any tips for writing?
So I'm using this. This is very useful. What we call this? So of course with a pen. So this is very cheap. It's about 100 ringgit plus. So I think you can buy a China brand. So you can just write by a pen. And of course for answer, using a Galaxy Tab, so that I scribble and write answer for them. So these are the two things that I use. So this one is linked to the computer, so you can write on the whiteboard, just like a pen. Of course, you have to practice how to write. You can see my handwriting just now was very bad because I'm not good. But using a Galaxy Tab, I can write better.
Oh, thank you, Edward Sensei. Can you please tell me the brand of the pen tablet?
The brand, the one that I'm using, you can see from the
data is okay. Yeah, and I want to know the brand and model.
I'm using, you can see at the chat section.
Okay.
A30.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. A30.
Yeah.
So there are many brands. Of course, there will be some very expensive brand which costs about 1,000 ringgit, but I don't think we need that. I think 100 ringgit will be good enough.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for the sharing. But anyhow, maybe I just want to add on, because I randomly sometimes I do try to get feedback from students about like WebEx session and Google Meet session. I do use both of them before. And actually, they did feedback to me is that for Google Meet, sometimes if the writing is too small, they cannot see it clearly. So maybe if any of us intend to use Google Meet, maybe just a reminder is to try to make the font of the writing in the slide to make it bigger, because that's what I get the feedback from students. But yes, I agree that Google Meet audio and it is quite light, so the audio issue so far no big issue on that. Okay, so thank you very much, Prof, for your sharing. So now we would like to move to Dr. Nurizal. Dr. Nurizal. Okay, Dr. Nurizal, I think you will share with us. Good morning. She will share with us some tips on and also introduction. Mainly it is introduction on how to use Discord to connect to our students for some activities. So of course, because this whole process is quite long and tedious, but she will roughly introduce to us first. If you are interested to know more, then maybe can approach her, or we can try to explore this together. Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Nurizal. I'll pass the session to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do you see my presentation view or my slide? Because I have the screen. I do not know which screen.
We can, but we can actually see your view, which is the presenter view. We are seeing your presenter view, and there's the live caption. Got it? That is blocking the slide.
Okay, now I think you can see my second screen.
Yes, we can see it.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Assalamualaikum. Good morning and ohayo gozaimasu. Okay, I am Dr. Nuzaifiana, or you can call me Diana. Okay, today I will share my experience related to the Discord. Okay, so the title that I received from Dr. Nana, application of Discord game apps to create fun learning in virtual classroom. Okay, the fun learning here, I just want to make a declaration that means that an interesting class. Okay, interesting online class. Okay, so this is my presentation outline. I will share with you what is actually this part and why I use this part and how I use this part. So I show how I design my class, and I share some student feedback, a few student feedback when I use Discord. Maybe it can motivate you to use Discord as well. Okay, what is Discord? Discord is actually introduced in 2015, and it actually to solve a problem for the gamers actually, okay, to communicate around the world while playing games. Actually, gamers they love to share their screen, okay, and then they love to chat. Okay, so at that time, Jason and Stan see that they don't have a very good platform that can support their needs, okay, gamers' needs. So Jason and Stan come up with the Discord. Okay, Discord is a voice, video, text communication platform, and it is easy to participate in conversation, and we can hopping around the text, voice, video, and it's quite similar to, I think it's a middle between Meet, Webex, and Telegram apps. So I can say that Discord is the middle of these two groups of communication. Okay, so why I use Discord? Okay, there is 6 points here that I'm going to share with you. The first one, because it is a free. It's a free, and it's available on mobile and desktop. Actually, Discord, we have a paid version. It's called a Nitro. However, if you don't use the Nitro, we still use all the features. So it's very interesting. Then the second one, it is a group oriented. Okay, so I can organize the channels regarding chapters or groups that I want to form my students, and it's very good for my students to collaborate each other during the class hours. The third one, I can assign the students a specific role. Okay, by having these teachers, that if let's say student A, I assign to group 1. So in his Discord view, they only have group 1, so he cannot see other groups. So I can say it's very interesting feature, because I just assign the group once at the beginning of the semester, and then the students can use throughout the semester the group, and they can discuss their assignment in that group because it's very private to them, right? So assign roles in channel is a very good feature for the collaboration work. one-time link or invitation. So I don't need to create any link every time I want to make online class. Okay, I just set at the beginning of the semester, I create the link. I share the link in the e-learning. So all my students get into the e-learning, get the Discord link, and they will join. So every time the class, we just go to the Discord. I don't need to create any link. Okay. The next point is communication features. Voice communication, video calls, multiple screen sharing capabilities. Okay. We can have voice communication in Meet, Webex, Zoom, Skype. We can have video call in Webex, Meet, Skype. So that one is not much difference with Discord. But in Discord, we can have multiple sharing. Okay, is that I can share, my student can share. So during the collaborative learning or during the group discussion, my students sometimes they will share the screens and compare the answer. So they can share multiple screen where I don't think that Skype, Webex, Meet, Zoom can have this kind of feature, right? Okay. So sometimes during night they will share Netflix, so they watch it together, so I can see what they're doing during the night. Okay. So the last one is easy to interact with students, okay, because it is at anytime communication, and we can keep track their participation, and we can give direct feedback. So even though the class, the online class is finished, but the environment is still there. So throughout the semester, we are in Discord. Okay, so we didn't. I can say that the class never finished because they keep communicate and discuss among them in the Discord group. So these are the features that makes me decided to use Discord this semester. Okay, I know Discord last semester. One of my students introduced Discord to me, but at that time I didn't explore yet. That's why I didn't use. Okay, so this semester I use Discord throughout the semester. I never use other platforms. Okay, so this is the Discord. All right, if you can see here, this is a verb. Okay, can you see my cursor? Okay, right. So, all right, in Discord, okay, this one is server. We call it as server. Okay, so last semester I have two sections. Okay, section 7 and section 8. So this one is section 7 and this one is section 8. Well, this one I call it as a lecture. Okay, lecture means in this server I combine these two sections. So two section is in this server, and this one is based on their section. Right? So server, we can create server based on our class, right? And we can make a folder as well where I can drag this server to this server, then they will create one folder. So at this time I didn't create any folder, but later on after this, because we already finished this semester, so I will put the server in that folder. Okay, next, if you can see here, this is a text channel. Okay, we use a lot to chat. Okay, and this text will appear here, but I block the conversation between my students here, so I put it white here. So you can see all the text channel here, and as you can see, each group there is a padlock here. This padlock means that this group is a private group. So only students that I assign role to this group can view this channel. It means that in their Discord, they can't see others group. So they can only have this group and later on another voice channel. Okay. So next, okay, I just next this view to share with you that if you can see here, this is a voice channel, and I use voice channel to give lecture. Okay, and general I call it as a main hall. All right, and these are the group based on this group. It means that group one, each group we have one text channel and one voice channel. Okay, so if you can see here, I didn't make pivot to the voice channel because my intention, I want my students to walk around and can have discussion like in physical class. Okay, because sometimes when we give the students question, ask them to answer that one. Sometimes they don't know how to start, how to answer, and then they just like in physical class, they will ask members from the next groups or something like that. So in Discord, they can see if another group discuss or view their share their screens, they can see and they can hop around lah, okay, to join the discussion. Okay, so I call this as a breakout room. Okay, so like in WebEx, Zoom, Meet, there is a breakout room, and this one I can say breakout room in Discord. Okay, this is my term. I don't know either other Discord users using it as a breakout room or not, but I just make a term to make it similar to the Zoom, WebEx, and so on. Right, so this is the features of Discord and how I use and I design in my class. Okay, so now I like to share how I design my class, an online class, and make Discord really interesting to my students. Okay, so Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn." So I want my students involved during my class. Okay, so back to the constructive alignment, where we should have the learning outcome, teaching and learning activities, assessment, and we need to align our activities, our strategies with the outcome, and our strategies with the assessment, as well as the outcome with the assessment. So this one is quite personal, when we will have our own intended outcome in each lesson. Okay, so I take one example of my course. Okay, this one is a 1CLO. Okay, this CLO state that we want the students able to apply the knowledge of scientific programming to describe complex engineering problems in flowchart, pseudocodes, and program. So during one lesson, so I'm going to share with you how I design and use Discord for one lesson. This one for 1 hour class only. So my intended outcome, what I want my students get is, I want my students know what is flowchart, pseudocode, and program. So I want them get this, understand this one before they can apply that knowledge, right? So in one class, in 1 hour class, I want students get this one. So for the online class, I refer to the Bloom's digital taxonomy. All right. So as you can see here, I refer to this one for my class because we want the student up to the cognitive level 3. So I just take the application up to the Bloom's taxonomy application only. So by referring to the Bloom taxonomy, to make the students know what is pseudocode, flowchart, and programs, what I want the activity that I want them to do is sharing with group. Okay, so this is the activities that can activate the student to get until C3. So let's say this is my intended outcome. Okay, for 1 hour class. So I design. I give student 3 questions. Okay, I want them discuss among themselves. Okay, I assign the group. Okay, the group, I didn't leave the students to choose their friends. Okay, I assign them to the group 3 to 4%. And then I assign them in each group in Discord. So they will know which group they are in, because the group is private. So they will they cannot see other groups, right? Okay, so in that class, I want them to share where they want to share. Either you want them to just verbally share, or have I written something. So this one I link with the Jamboard. Okay, this time I want to introduce them using Jamboard. Okay, then the next class I just leave to them. They want to use what kind of platform, and normally they use Jamboard. Certain group use Jamboard, certain group use Google Doc. Okay, so it is okay. But the first timer, I will introduce Jamboard because I want to share with them how they can use Jamboard. Because when you use a new technology, we need to explain, to share to the students how to use that technology. If not, if they do not know how to use it, they will demotivate later on. Okay, so another activity that I want them to share with other groups, like a gallery walk. Okay, so the assessment by observation and evaluate the answer given in the Jamboard. So this is how I plan in my virtual classroom. Okay. So let's see. If you can see here, this is my view in the general group. So this one is a text channel for the general group lecture hall. Means that all students are in, this one is section 7. Section 7, the class is a section 7. This one you call it channel. Okay, so I have a breakout room in the channel, the section 7. And this one is a view for the text. At this moment, I join group 4 voice channel. Okay, I joined the group 4 voice channel. All right, and at the same time, I view text channel for general text channel. So it's like a multitasking where we can do this in the breakout room, Webex breakout room or Zoom breakout room. We can't do this, right? We cannot see all the students doing. Okay, so can you see that now this one is section 7 and I am in the section 7, and you can see the black button, a small button here, and you can see new unread message. So we know that there's message at the text channel from other group. So we alert if we are in Zoom or Webex or whatever breakout room. The students will contact via WhatsApp, right? Because the student cannot call, like doctor, they can call like in a physical classroom, but here they can use a mention. They will tag, and I can see that I can monitor all the students at the same time. Okay, so this one group 4 and general. Okay, here I can see that this student is muted. Okay. If all students in the voice channels are muted, I will take a look at their text channel, because I want them to discuss whatever medium, text or verbally discussion. It is okay if all are muted here and nothing in the text channel. I will call them. Okay, because we can directly call using direct message in Discord. So all in one. I can say all in one in Discord. Right. So here okay. This one is a video actually. Okay, I play the video, then you can see how I scroll during the class. Okay, this one in section 7. So I can see group 1, 2 students is live. They are sharing multiple screen at one time. Okay, group C, Amirul is sharing with his friends. Okay, so this is how I can monitor my students. Oh, I can monitor all my students, so no one can miss. All right, so no one can miss, and I know they are present. If they scan the QR code and they are not active here, then I will call. Okay, so this is group 6, where at this time, students from other group 7 and group 8, they are stuck at that time. So when they see our mural is live, they join this group. Okay, so these are the things that I want my student do during the class. Okay, having a real-time discussion. Okay, now I want to share how I get students. Okay, this one Qayyum is sharing and explaining to his friend.
2, 3 dengan 2, 4, 4 ni dia ambil benda ni, and then dia masukkan ke dalam B. So setiap elemen ni dia indexkan ke dalam B. Maksudnya dia start dengan first 3. So jadi B3. So dalam B elemen ketiga kosong. So dia keluarkan kosong. Lepas tu nombor kedua 2. So B2.
So we can see this one is a peer instruction. Okay, and now here you have new mention, and it is in lecture hall. Okay. Normally when I didn't finish in other group, I just tag this group. Give me some time discuss entertain your friends. Later on, I will come to you, so they know my situation, and it's very helpful for me to communicate with them.
2, 3 dengan 2.
Okay, this one another discussion in a text channel. All right, in a text channel, so we can go through all the text channel and see what's happening in the text channels or in the voice channel. And this one is another students share his screens and explain to the students, to other students. And this one, I love to share this one because this student is using his prior knowledge, and then relate with the MATLAB. So from here, I learned that, oh, they have this prior knowledge. So later on, when I summarize at the end of the class, I can relate it to the prior knowledge. If I didn't see what's happening here, actually I do not know their prior knowledge, their exact prior knowledge. Right? So this one is a very good. I learn from them, and they can learn from me as well. Okay, so come to the end where I love to share my students' feedback when I use Discord. Right? Activity during learning is really interesting. So most of the students say that it's really interesting. Okay, there's a lot of first timer. Okay, I told them, oh, I thought you are Gen Z, so you know all the apps, right? And gamers, right? Gamers apps, right? So a lot of first timers. So that luckily I explained to them how to use that. So they feel okay, all right? Okay, highly recommended. First time use, highly recommended. So really love it. Okay, easy to communicate, new vibe, and discussion straight away through this app, right? And smooth with the lecturer's guide, whatever it is. For the technology, in my case, I didn't give my students to explore the technology by themselves, because we didn't. In my class, I don't want to assess their technology, digital literacy. I want assess them on the content of our course. Okay. It is fun to use another platform to learn the subject and easy communicate with others. At the same time, lecturer also can guide all students even in different groups. Okay, so students feel that I still can guide them. So okay. Recommended for next class, right? And easily get into our group without leaving the class. And without leaving the class, it means that. And one more thing, by using Discord, it's like casual communication. It's not really formal. So it's very, we can feel that it's very close to the students, okay? Okay, sorry. And the students said that Discord is the best platform among others, Webex, Google Classroom, and so on, because Discord is always the best communication platform. Group is organized in Discord and make discussion more easier. So this is feedback from section 7, and this feedback from section 8. All right, and this one, fun and interactive. So the student can feel, all right, interactive, fun, and interest to the next class. This one is motivate me as well, okay, to design another activity in the class, okay, easier for group interactive. So another word of interactive, okay, like using Discord and Jamboard. Discord is only a platform to communicate, and we still can use Padlet, Puzzle, or other else to link with Discord. So my last word is people will only want to engage if it is relevant to their needs or helps them solve problems. So we need to create or design our class that can make the students feel it is relevant to them. Then they can start engage. Okay, so talk to people, connect with them, make the e-learning sound like it's a conversation between people, real people, not robots. So by having this one, I think I'm not talking alone as I used Meet last semester. So it quite improved for me. I improved this semester. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nurza, for the interesting introduction to Discord to all of us here. So I can see that it is another alternative option that we can use to, I think, as you mentioned, it is something like a community, right? For the students that they can still come back to discuss after class in the same Discord, correct? Okay, thank you. So is there any question for Dr. Nurza? I can really see that this is a good platform to reduce the psychological distance among the students, right? The students can still feel the interaction between lecturers and also with the peers. That's a very interesting one. So any question from the members? I think this is totally new things to us. We need to digest probably, but yeah, I can see that if some of us we would like to create this community and reduce the barrier or the distance with the students, this is a good one.
But Discord still have a limitation for file sharing. It's up to 8 megabytes. So in my case, it's not no problem because I use e-learning as well.
So means that you use a combination of e-learning with this Discord.
Discord is a platform just to communicate and having the class. Like that's why I said that Discord is the middle WhatsApp and Meet and so on, because we can use during online class and at the same time we can have a chat with the students. So it is in middle.
Okay, good. So any question from the members? By the way, the attendance link is in the chat room. So if you haven't filled it yet, please do so.
Dr. Tan?
Yes.
Tan? I have a question for Dr. Nurza. Hi, Doctor. This is Prem.
Hi.
Doctor, how long did you take to get used to this app or like this system, Discord? I mean, did you already know before starting to use it, or I mean, ataupun you after we started PDP, then only you wanted to use it and then you got a grasp of it? How long did it take?
Okay, I get to know Discord because my students introduced it to me. Okay, because I love to randomly pick feedback students and ask them how can I improve my teaching and learning activities or strategy. And this one last semester the students, one of the students give a feedback, use Discord. So from there I started to explore Discord. get to use with Discord is only 1 day. It's very easy.
I see. That means your student gave the idea to use Discord. Not, it's not from you lah, bukan Dr. yang decide, but the student told you and then you wanted to use it. Yeah.
For this semester, I decided.
All right.
So last semester, one of the students introduced Discord. Okay, so but last semester I didn't use Discord. I just use Meet because we are suddenly changed from physical to the online class and still adapt with the environment. And during Meet, I feel that sometimes I feel that I'm talking alone. Okay, it doesn't really work the communication like in physical class because during physical class I love to walk around, see my students do something like that. So that feel too I tak rasa during Google Meet. So when the students and I share with the students, that's why the student come up with the Discord. So I explore Discord during the semester break, and to design I think it's not really because I just create the server channel. You see. But the most important thing is how to design to make it align. So and this semester I decided everybody is forced to use Discord. So at the beginning of this semester, I post in the e-learning in my class that I'm going to use Discord. So everybody, you need to join Discord via link. That's why you can see the students' feedback. First time use. So quite. I don't want the students get demotivated because they are first timer. During at the beginning of the semester, I explain to them, okay, how Discord features works and how I'm going to use Discord throughout the semester. That's why you can see in the feedback that lecturer's guide is helpful.
Thanks, Doctor. One more question. When you are using this, how heavy is this? How heavy is the system compared to yang biasa kita guna lah? Because most of the time, even when we use a simple one like Google Meet ke Webex pun, student kata tak stable. They always, terkeluar daripada kelas. They can't, they can't stay 100% like for the 1 hour or the 2 hours. How heavy is Discord compared to the other applications?
Okay. If you didn't use any sharing, screen sharing, it's just like WhatsApp, Telegram, because it is an app that we can just texting. But when we use screen sharing, then Discord will use powerful, like you said, powerful screen. I think I can share with you my Discord.
So far, is there any feedback from students that mention, for example, they have issues to connect to Discord during class time, for example?
Yes. That's why when the student give feedback that he or she having internet problem, I will ask his or her team member to use text channel only, not voice channel. But sometimes they can chat. They can just chat like we use WhatsApp chat, means a WhatsApp call. Okay. So it's not really a high rate unless sharing the screen. Okay. Can you see my Discord?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this one is a direct message. Okay. Direct message ni we can call. We can call friends. For example, last night I communicate with Dr. Arif, then I just call it. Can you see that this is a voice call? So it's like we use WhatsApp voice call. So the data rate is not very high. Okay, so this one, if you want to have a direct call with your friends and indirect message, we can create many members to join that call as well. So this one is all the channel that I have, all the server. This one is server. So can you see that this one, actually I make a channel based on chapter, but it doesn't work. The students didn't go by chapter. They just langsung they want to discuss, then just discuss. So that one is, this one is doesn't work lah. So for this one, if the students having a problem, then I will let them know. Means that if the students go to the voice channel and there is 2 person discuss here, okay, so maybe 1 person missing, so I will text, and sometimes student will privately message me, doctor, I have internet problem. So I will go to the voice channel, I will tell their friends, okay, your friends having internet connectivity, can you please use text to communicate and to discuss? And then they can say okay. So that one is one thing, and another one, I have international students. Okay, in international students too, the time different. That group I suggested to use text channel because this member can scroll it back. So this is how I can say that even though the online or real-time class is end, but the environment is still here, They can discuss at any time. Okay, if you want to share the screen.
So Dr. Nurza, just now you mentioned there's one like so-called main room that there is something like a lecture hall, a virtual lecture hall that you can share and give briefing or explanation where everyone come to there, is it?
Yes, this one lecture hall and this one is main hall. So everybody will go to this main hall. Normally in 1 hour class, I will just give briefing around 5 to 10 minutes. Then they will actively engage with their friends. Then I will scroll. Okay. If you can see here in this lecture hall, there is 16 groups because it combines section 7 and section 8. And I think that this one is not really functioning because it's very difficult for me to monitor up to 16 groups. Okay. After that, what I did, I gave the lecture here, this main hall, but I asked them to discuss in each section group because easy for me to scroll. Okay, to scroll. It's only 8 group, and then when I click here, then I can see another 8 group. Okay, instead of I having to scroll, I think it's very difficult to me. So I can say that last semester, this semester is like trial and error, but I think it's
okay.
Sharing. Okay, if you join this voice channel, okay, this one voice connected. Video, if you want to turn on your video, but most of the students won't turn on the video. Okay, what I did, I have their nickname. So in the Excel file, their name, and then I have their nickname. So I know them by having their nickname only so far. Okay, so the screen, if you can see that, when I want to share the screen, I can choose what screen that I want to share, and we can choose the resolution and the frame rate. That's why how we can control the data that we use. Then we can go live. So for those students, when they want to share, the internet connectivity is quite low. They can use the lower frame rate, but they can't see the small letter. Okay. So that's how I think my student, everyone can engage, even though maybe some internet is not stable sometimes at a certain area, and he or she will mention at the beginning, he or she will message me directly. But when they get to know the students that are the friends, then they can they just let the friends know in the group. So that one shows that they feel the environment is safe. So they can learn, they can freely discuss and share. That's the environment that I like to create in my class.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nurizal and Dr. Prem for the question. I think through Dr. Prem's question also, I get better idea on on this Discord. Okay, thank you very much again, all for spending time with us. Thank you, Dr. Nurizal. Thank you, Prof. Azad. So sorry that we are running a bit late. So thank you. We will have another sharing session next time. But in between, if you have any question, please feel free to approach me or any of your colleagues to have discussion. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So happy new semester. Happy new semester.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Nurizal. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck
Dr.
for the
Guy.
semester.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.